Starman here, better known as Ryan. I wasn't watching that show! Everybody knows that gamers have a serious reputation to uphold, and nobody's gonna ever take them seriously if they're going around watching silly shows about cartoon dogs. Which I don't! I'm a real gamer! I like games, unhealthy soft drinks, and guns! I'm a big fan of guns! I like talking about guns, I like showing people my favorite guns, and I like talking about my favorite guns out in public! I just found out that not many people are very open to talking about guns in public. But hey, I mean, it's also a gamer thing to be not allowed in banks, right? Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a first-person team-based shooter released in 2012. Practically ancient in terms of games, but it continues to be relevant due to its tight gameplay, high skill ceiling, and thriving community of people constantly playing it. Because of its influence and large profile in the gaming space, it's kind of impossible for me to review it. Let's be real, there's no way you searched up sweaty gun game from 2012 and found my video first. My SEO isn't really that good. So chances are you already have an idea if you like this game or not, and the litmus test to decide that would be your reaction to seeing this video. Did you go, oh? Or did you go, ow? And if you're more of an ow type of person, then you probably share the same dislikes for this game as I do. Counter-Strike, or CSGO if you're in a hurry, drops you into the game with absolutely no direction or explanation on what you're supposed to do. Honestly, it's a bit refreshing, since modern games are plastered with heavy-handed tutorials on how to experience their games. I'd expect to see some of them to have a press A to have fun prompt soon enough. However, it's because of this directionless style that I stumbled into a subscription service to track your stats and performances. I'm sorry, what? What kind of game immediately puts a subscription service in front of you offering to track every single match you do and give you a detailed explanation of how much you sucked in a match? One could say it's for people wanting to get something more out of the game, but one has to realize how many people there are that buy into this and never get anything out of it. It's just a weird note to start on for me because it screams right off the bat, every game counts and everybody will judge you if you're not good at it. Yeah, this is a great start. Obviously, I'm going in with a couple of biases here. I don't particularly like first-person shooters, since I grew up on what some may consider a child's toy. And I'm not too big into games where their big appeal is to get good. Regardless, it's time to play the side mode. As part of the hands-off training, you are forced to play in the side modes like casual and deathmatch to get a better feel for how the game controls, and presumably decide then and there which guns feel the best for you. That didn't work. I can appreciate the efforts to acclimate players before going into the real deal, as there are some clever things that the game does to let you get into the swing of things. When you start a match and stand still, dumbfounded by all the crazy things happening in front of you, the game pulls up a graphic to let you know what to do, which is very nice. I never would have thought to open the buy menu unless the game told me, and waiting for me to show I don't know how to do it is a really elegant way to tutorialize while also not annoying people who do know how to do things. You're also never pestered to follow a set thing to do. Yes, terrorists are meant to plant the bomb and counter-terrorists are meant to stop that, but if you want, you could also fling yourself into the middle of a gunfight and feel fine knowing that it was an equally valid way to play, even if your teammates think differently. It's in this game mode where you can get the quickest and dirtiest feel for the game mechanics and overall loot of plant bomb or protect site. But this isn't the main game, and that's not why I'm here. I need to play competitive. Basically put, you're in teams of 5. One is terrorists who wants to plant a bomb in a very specific place between 2 points, and a counter-terrorist who would like that to not happen. You're given money to buy whatever equipment you can to help you stop the other team from doing you dirty. And you get more money from doing goo, but you also get a small money if you don't do goo, ensuring that both teams always have some kind of budget to get better guns and equipment. And now for the actual gameplay. It's fine. You have a wide range of things that you can do given your loadout, and somebody more qualified than me can tell you the difference between each gun that's available. But to me, every gun is either a single shot scoped thing that I can't hit with, or an automatic gun that expands the crosshair when you shoot it for longer than half a second. I understand I suck at shooters, so take this with a grain of salt when I say that this game's management of shots infuriates me to no end. I understand that doing less movement makes the crosshair smaller and moving more makes me less accurate, but it always seems to me that everybody else killing me has no problem with that stuff. There are countless moments where I feel like the shots should be landing, only to die and learn absolutely nothing about what went wrong.
I'm gonna call it a Subaru. I don't care. I will call
Subaru! What the f?
I will call it Subaru.
For reference, I didn't hit a single bullet here. I don't get this game. This game promotes an environment of learning from your mistakes and getting better with every passing game, but I feel it's rather difficult to understand what I'm doing wrong when every single thing I do seems to result in... Alright. Maybe things could be better if I spoke with my teammates or played with friends. However, I really don't want to ruin the friendships I have. And I'm from Minnesota. I don't talk to people. I can understand where the skill in this game comes from. There are many things you can do to be efficient in movement, shooting, and even the equipment you use. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the sound design in this game is amazing. The death splats are iconic for a reason, and I actually felt pretty good for hearing an enemy coming and stopping their push because of it. But just because a game has a high skill ceiling does not make me compelled to play it, and that's all this game seems to be interested in. If you like the gameplay, more power to you. Like I said, it's not my thing. I don't hold it against you for enjoying this game because of that part of it. Now, what I can't get behind is the bullshit and predatory market of gun skins that exists within the game. Playing the game sometimes nets you a gun case that contains a gun skin for a random weapon or cosmetic in the game. However, to get them open, you need to buy a key that Steam provides themselves. How nice of them. I'm not kidding when I say this market is one of the biggest blights in all of gaming. What I assume started as an innocent collection of interesting and community-fed skins for a game has since morphed into a huge predatory marketplace that places value on items that are not real, are completely arbitrary in their worth, and worst of all, not even technically owned by anybody. It's a completely fabricated marketplace that is decided by a string of numbers on how much each weapon skin is worth, with the process of it all being not too far away from a casino environment. To get these items, you have to buy items from Steam themselves, who are the ones deciding the price and made the game that decides what this shit is valued at. But I can't really have a say in this without experiencing it myself, and since I'm done playing with the game at this point, I'll have to do this the way Steam intended to do it. I go to the marketplace, look at cases and their limited quantities. This is a digital item. There's no such thing as a limited quantity. And I also have to get a matching key, which takes a completely different transaction. And you know, I'm starting to think that I'll have a new item for my list. What's that doing here? Finally, I have the loot box and matching key. I open it up, watch it spin, and obtain a pistol that looks like it was dipped in sewage. Should I be hooked by now? This shit is made to sucker people into paying out premium prices to get the shiny, colorful gun of their preference, or to fuel some delusional idea that people can make money off of stuff like this. And let me play spoiler for you. You won't. Any payout you get will only be in a Steam wallet money, and while that can do something in terms of buying games, it means nothing to actual real value, and Steam is the benefactor of every purchase you make regardless of where it comes from, because Steam always takes a cut from every single transaction made. And before anybody tells me about third-party selling websites to bypass this, I encourage you to look inside yourself and ask, are you really solving the real problem here? Every aspect of this part of the game is shady, predatory, and tailor-made to take advantage of people's urge to get nice things in games. And somebody who likes to make grand claims would say that this right here is the root of all evil when it comes to predatory actions in games for years to come. And I am one of those people, so I do say that. Overall, CSGO is a perfectly fine game with a lot of things in it to get you better at that game. There's a reason it stayed at the top when there are so many others that have tried to fill its space and failed. The vast amount of mechanics and the combination of those leads to a staple within the gaming industry that may never leave. It didn't catch me mainly because of my own personal tastes, but I can see that there's legitimate fun to be had in getting good at the game and playing with your friends, if they're willing to suffer through with you. The learning curve of this game is extraordinarily harsh, and pair that when playing with others who have been with the game since its launch, it feels a lot less like a learning curve and more like a brick wall that's also slinging slurs at you. And the marketplace, while labeled as an optional feature, in my opinion is a rather large stain on an otherwise solid and well-crafted game. And on that note, I hope you realize that I'm a real bona fide gamer just like everyone else. Sure, I might not like the classic shooters and all that, but I can still see the fun that people can have in it. It's just not for me. Much like that silly cartoon show that I obviously don't like. As if any real self-respecting gamer would ever watch something like that.
Coconuts have water in them.